Marley, thanks for coming back on the podcast. We're going to have some fun today.
I'm really excited.
Awesome. I want to talk to you about something. So I own a couple of houses here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Zillow is telling me the values are dropping quickly, 2 and 3% just over the last 30 days. I've lost over $100,000 in each house over the last few months. Should I freak out?
Mm-hmm. I think you should just go ahead and sign that listing paperwork and just let me go ahead and list it on MLS.
Good to know you have my
I got
best interest
goals.
at heart. No.
I am hearing this a lot, and I'm looking at Zillow as well. And I mean, that's a conversation that I'm having all the time with buyers and sellers that, these home prices are dropping, these home prices are dropping. And there's so much more that goes into it than that Zestimate and Realtor.com estimate, right? I think that as a realtor, we always try to get homeowners to not look at that and have buyers not look at that and say it's irrelevant. Now, all of a sudden, people feel like it's becoming more relevant, right?
Well, I was less
think
interested in when the numbers were going up. I was like, oh, they're going up, it's great, everything. But when they're going down, suddenly it seems wildly important that I'm paying attention. So,
yeah, and if you do look at how much a homeowner is getting, so we don't know exactly how they're doing this algorithm. We always say it's price per square foot. So if you look at the past sales the last few months in Mount Pleasant, which those are houses that are in Mount Pleasant, homeowners are only getting about 93% of their asking price right now. So Zillow could be seeing that and saying, based off of how much homeowners are getting for their purchase price, now you're estimated to get at a lower price.
wait, so talk
I
about that
personally don't think it's
93%, because I feel like 6 months ago it was like, or maybe more.
it was 103.
It's like 103, right? Right. And then,
102.5.
but even like 2 or 3 months, like 2 months ago, you were on here telling me it was like 99% or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
going from 99 to 93, like overnight.
Yeah, these are all pre-owned homes too. So I dissect it by like new construction, pre-owned, single family detached. So single family detached pre-owned homes in Mount Pleasant are only getting 93% of their asking price right now. And that's not including like the seller concessions that we're seeing that sellers are also paying. So they're probably more so getting like 91, 92% of their asking price.
And how much do you think seasonality plays into that, right? So I guess my question is, I know the last couple of years have been a weird winter market, but like in a normal winter market, does that always sort of happen this time of year? Or is this if this is the beginning of a trend line, we could see prices continue to really drop far from here?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, people do typically get a little bit less when it's the fourth quarter because it's sitting on the market a little bit longer. There's a little bit more competition because, homes are just sitting there during the holidays. But we're not used to seeing it this low. Even in 2018, 2019, sellers were really getting like 97.5% of their asking price. So it is getting a little bit lower than we saw even during the pre-COVID times.
So we're in a situation right now where sellers are taking far less than what they're listing for, but we still don't have a lot of inventory. Is inventory going up with those numbers, or do we just have way less buyers on the market that are willing to look?
We have more inventory than we have had since, I believe, October 2020. So we're at almost 2 months worth of inventory right now, when we were dealing with about 2 weeks worth of inventory for the past 2 years. Is that crazy?
It is. What's crazier to me is they say normal is 6 months, right? 6 months of inventory, like that's like a normal market.
So normal is a neutral market, but like 3.5 to 4.5 months here, I find as a fair market where sellers are still getting a lot of, their purchase price or a lot of their equity, and buyers are still, it's just a fair, like buyers are not feeling like they have to just completely give everything away, and then sellers, are still getting what they want.
So I guess what's interesting, very interesting about the speed of all of this for me is I think we just have a real disconnection between what people are listing for and then what they're getting at a time when there's still limited inventory. Because you would normally think like, oh, limited inventory, we're still under that 3.5 to 4 months. I'm probably going to get close to what I list for. Obviously not the case. And so, I think it's something to really. So when is the next time we will get new data, so we can kind of see where the trend line is heading? When does that come out, or when did the last time you saw new numbers?
I get it every month on the 1st.
On the 1st. All right, so everybody needs to stay tuned because I honestly, from just anecdotally, from what I see and what we do and what I hear and what I'm seeing, I think I don't see any sort of resistance to us heading in that direction, which is, hey, that people are going to start listing lower because they're going to see that, and I still think that we're going to have people for lack of affordability because if we're still under the 3.5 to 4 months and we're still seeing prices come down, well then if everyone goes, well, I was thinking about selling, let me put my house on the market, that will force that even further down. And so unless rates come down, allowing more buyers to get back in and more people to get who are willing to sell their 2.5 or 3% loan they have right now, tell me if I'm missing something, or do you think, are you, it seems to me like if I was going to sell, I'd want to sell now. I want to get my house up there soon.
So let's go back to like April, May, June 2020 when COVID just hit Charleston and everyone stopped. Like, you just stopped. The world freaking stopped. We weren't buying and selling real estate because we didn't understand what was going to happen to the market. Everyone said the market was going to crash. And then all of a sudden we realized the market was not going to crash and it was going to be the best market to buy. So I think, this is my prediction obviously, is that we are seeing again that halt because the interest rates jacked up. And then, everyone started saying like the market's going to crash. And the interest rates are already going down. I think that right now is just a period of, uncertainty, like major uncertainty. So people are taking a step back. And it just happens to be around the holiday season too, when we do see like a few more or less sales in Charleston. But I do think that homeowners and a lot of realtors, I think, are still thinking it's the first and second quarter of this year where you're like, oh, well, that neighbor sold their house a few months ago. Your house is obviously going to sell $50,000 more. And listing at that price, when home price appreciation is just not going that high anymore. It's more so flatlined, in my opinion.
All right. Well, we're off
But I think that everyone's just trying to figure it out.
We're off next week for the holiday, but in 2 weeks, I want you to come back on here and discuss all the December data with me so we can see which way we're headed.
Yeah, because the days on market right now is 40 days for the information that we got. So 40 days. The average home, goes under contract for at least 30 days. So that really is homes that hit the market about 70 days ago. So, we're just going to keep seeing more and more of like what's happening. It's pretty interesting. I'm here for it.
I'm fascinated by it. I'm fascinated to see what all the crypto fallout is going to mean for home prices, especially in the higher price ranges. And I think there's going to be a lot of interesting opportunities. I'm sure you can get some pretty good deals in the Bahamas right now with all the crypto fallout from everybody having to sell all those properties there. Well, thank you, Marley, for coming.
Maybe we should buy some over there.
Yes, let's go. I've been.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Marley, for coming. I look forward to doing this with you in a couple weeks.
Thank you.